Hey, I have a second channel. Cube Comp MTDX. Hey everybody, here we have two HP desktop computer systems. One on the left is actually just the original case, pretty much everything else has been upgraded, but we're using it just as a show example here. The system on the right is still stock except for the hard drive has been removed because I've backed up the files. This one here is getting ready to get upgraded. But there's one thing that these computers have in common, and we'll get to that in just a second. So take a moment to have a look at the spec label on this machine. So this one originally came with an Athlon 64 3200 plus processor, 1 gig of DDR400 memory, 200 gig hard drive, DB burner, CD-ROM drive. Computer is from around 2004. Just ignore the Core 2 Quad sticker because that was not the original processor in this machine. To be specific, the model on this one is a Pavilion A737N. So again, this is a 2004 system. Now, let's have a look at this one. This one is from 2010, late 2010. It is an Athlon 2 630 quad-core CPU. It has 4 gigs of DDR3 memory, 750 gig hard drive, Wi-Fi, integrated Radeon graphics, DB burner. Again, 2010 system. One on the left shipped with Windows XP. This one shipped with Windows 7 when it was new. So, there was one thing in particular that these computers have in common. This one, by the way, is a model P6654Y. There is one thing that, despite these computers being, well, 6 years apart in age, totally different generations of hardware. I mean, this one, obviously, much newer. One thing these two machines have in common, and to be specific, there's one thing that most consumer-grade HP Pavilion desktops and compact Presario equivalent systems from the era of this case, for example, have in common. The power supply. So, HP, in their infinite wisdom, from approximately 2002 to at least 2011, I would say. So from on AMD, from Socket A, Athlon XPs, through Socket AM3, at least the Athlon 2, maybe even some Phenom 2s. They used the exact same power supply. Now there was also a 300 watt unit, but in this here we're focusing on the 250 watt unit. So this is the Bestech ATX 250 12Z power supply. Again, this power supply, I want to say, it was designed around 2001 to 2002. So there's two more units just to show you an example. Two of these units, the ones on the bottom here, the two on the bottom are newer. The one on top is significantly older. But there's hardly any difference between all these units together. They have basically been unchanged for, well, I'd say close to 10 years. I mean, 2002 to at least 2011. I mean, I don't know what year HP stopped using this unit. So, this thing came out, of course, around the generation of AMD Socket A Athlon XP. Of course, up through Socket AM3. Or for Intel people, Socket 478, Pentium 4s and Celerons, through LGA 775. At least. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps there might be a Core i3 system that shipped with this power supply. I mean, from that era of this AMD based system. So, one thing for sure that has not changed on this unit is the outputs, at least where the power goes, on each of the rails, like your 3.3 volt, your 5 volt, your 12 volt rails, and the connectors. Of course, in the mid 2000s, we ended up with SATA hard drives, and by the late 2000s to 2010s, we had SATA hard drives and SATA optical drives. You can see none of these units have SATA power connections on there. And you probably know how HP took care of that, right? Yep. Here you're looking at a genuine HP 4-pin Molex to SATA adapter. HP used these bad boys to convert this 2002 power supply to run a 2010 computer. This computer had 2 of them in it. So, we'll spin this machine around and show you the inside of it. Again, the only thing I've taken out of this machine is the hard disk drive. Here we have this Socket AM3 platform with a Athlon 2 quad-core 630 CPU with a 95 watt TDP, thermal design power. So we can assume this CPU could pull upwards of 95 watts, and that's coming from the 12 volt rail. Think about it, 120 watts on 12 volts is 10 amps. This power supply from 2002 puts out a 14 amp max 12 volts. Well, it puts out up to 14 amps on a 12 volt rail. So this thing was powering, this particular power supply was powering anything from Pentium 4s up through quad core AMD CPUs. Probably some Core 2 Duos from Intel, and who knows, maybe a Core i3 or maybe an i5. I mean, there's no telling what this thing could have powered. And you can see HP, in their infinite wisdom, they adapted the old 4-pin Molex connections to power optical drives and also the hard drive. And of course, this one right here, and this little SATA cable both came out of this system. This computer, once it's upgraded, will no longer have a hard disk drive. It will have just a solid state drive on the motherboard, so no need for a hard drive. But yeah, guys, isn't that crazy? For over 10 years, HP used pretty much the same exact power supply. Now, I do want to say that the first generation of the Bestech HCX 250 12Z power supply was Revision D. This one up here is a Revision D1. So, it's relatively old. And all 3 of these units here have had the capacitors replaced at some point or another. That was typically the common issue with these units, was capacitors to go bad. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. This particular unit here is a D7R. So, these things, they do not have a 24-pin motherboard connection. Your CPU power connection is 4 pins. And not to get these confused with the other ones. For connectors, you have, of course, the 20-pin motherboard connection, the 4-pin CPU power connection, no PCI Express graphics card connections, obviously. We have 2 4-pin Molex connections here, 2 more 4-pin Molex connections here, for a total of 4. We have 2 floppy disk drive connections, not just 1 but 2. And back in the era, older AGP graphics cards sometimes use these for power as well. So, in case you ever wonder why some of these units have 2 of these connections, that could be why. One was to power the floppy disk drive, and the other one was an auxiliary connection for a graphics card at the time. So yeah, You can see on its motherboard, HP just, of course, use a 20-pin power supply on a 24-pin motherboard, which is okay. The time you could run into an issue is if you put a strong graphics card in there, which you'd be replacing that power supply anyway if you did that. But HP, again, for a decade, used the exact same supply. Now, see, the thing is, HP in this system, they could have easily used the Bestech ATX 312Z, which is a more modern 300-watt supply. My sample unit is currently installed in an Autoplex 390, but I do have my test unit over here, which is actually a totally recased power supply. Just for the heck of it, years ago, I decided to take this one out of its original case and put it in this dual fan case, which the case is looking pretty horrible these days. Unit still works fine though. And you can see it puts out 19 amps on its 12-volt rail. It puts out 30 amps on its plus 5-volt rail, which is pretty steep for the era. 28 amps on the plus 3.3. This one here, I mean, the ATX 312Z, they're literally almost the same, except for a little bit more powerful silicon, particularly like I'd say on both the primary and secondary. Some bigger capacitors, better heat sinks. I mean, other than that, they're practically the same. See, the thing is, oh, and I should mention that the other unit had 2 SATA power connections. So you have to wonder, when this computer here could have easily been more suitable for the Bestech ATX 312Z. I mean, many computers that HP was building back in the mid-2000s with, heck, even single or dual-core Athlon 64 processors with integrated graphics came with the 312Z. Why did they use the 25012Z in this one? Probably because HP had a deal with Bestech to where you had basically the more units you purchased, the better deal you got. The cost was cheaper per power supply. And perhaps in the late 2000s, early 2010s, HP could have had a pretty significant overstock of these units, so they just tossed them into pretty much whatever. So this one here is totally original. It works fine. All the capacitors are fine in it, and I'm just gonna keep it in here because I'll be putting in a Ryzen 5 5600G APU based setup, which the APU is a 65 watt TDP, whereas this processor is 95 watts. I was kind of surprised today when I just did a video of this computer talking about it, and I looked up on the internet the TDP, the thermal design power of the Athlon 2630, and I was like, wow, 95 watts, and they got this 250 watt supply in there. So probably another reason why HP tossed this unit into just about everything back in the day. I mean, from 2002 through probably 2012 even. Who knows? It's because some of these OEM supplies were just simply overbuilt. They were well capable of putting out 250 watts and could probably take some overload. And HP only warranted these computers for a year, so if the power supply blew up 400 days after you bought the computer, well, you was out of luck because he's out of warranty, the way they looked at it. So yeah, HP, they use this model power supply alongside a couple of different hybrid models. So yeah, years ago I must say I was pretty critical of HP throwing this power supply into some of its computers. Into some systems I think was pushing the limits of it, but I mean, time has kind of proven that, I mean, the thing has been up to its task. It has ran This power supply has ran this system in its OEM configuration for 12 years. I mean, this is a 2010 computer, and here it is 2022. It still runs perfect as can be. The hard drive was failing though, which was one of the reasons why this thing was getting really slow. So yeah, that's one thing about OEM computers is sometimes they'll stick with a certain model part for as long as they can, probably to get a decent deal on the price. Could be considered a way of cutting costs. I mean, when the system would have been better in its OEM configuration, honestly, I would have put a 300 watt supply in the thing. But HP used the tried and true legendary 250 12Z. I mean, these units, very common. So anyways, that's one thing in particular with HP desktops from around 2002 through at least 2012 or so that hasn't really changed. They use the same part for nearly a decade, the power supply. In the later years, they just adapted it to fit. Used Molex SATA adapters for the newer drives, and I mean, I guess to give credit to them, it worked. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Well everybody, that wraps it up for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Computer Channel, and be sure to tick that bell so you'll get notified when new videos are posted. Also, don't forget, I have a whole lot of other interesting videos here on the channel to check out. And also, in addition, I have a second channel, CubeComp MTDX, where I have all sorts of other videos not exactly related to technology. Links to the channels are available at the end of this video. Again, I thank you for your support and thanks for watching this video.